Now this right here, this one is for my nurse leaders. But don't go nowhere. If you are in the nursing field or any other field for that matter, this would still be so valuable to you. So please go ahead, get your little popcorn. I love me some Boom Chicka Pop myself, purple bag, nothing else. Go ahead and hit subscribe, hit like. I need you to sit down, get your pen and paper ready. It is time. This video, like I said, it is for my nurse leaders. It is called How to Retain New Members. Very, very important. We have so many nurses who are joining the profession. So many nurses, of course, who are leaving the profession, mostly baby boomers and nurses who just realized, you know what, this whole caring for patients in this manner is not for me, which is totally fine. First things first. When you are doing your interview with your nursing manager, nursing leadership, what they're going to say most likely is hit you with a couple performance-based interview questions. And what I mean by that is there will be some type of scenario, some type of situation in which you would have to think as that nurse in that particular scenario or situation. They're looking to see how well you communicate. They're also looking to see if you can handle a specific situation or a specific scenario and how well you would manage that situation or scenario. For instance, they could say, well, you have a mom who is, well, like I said, I'm postpartum now. So mom is the first thing that comes to my mind. Let me go outside the box. Let me go back to my med-surg days. So they could ask you, well, you have a patient who came in with dark red blood coming up from vomiting. They're nauseous. They aren't keeping down fluids or food. They're very weak. Pressure is bottoming out. High temp, high heart rate, all these different things, right? They might say, well, what would you do as the nurse caring for this patient in this scenario? And then you would then tell your response. I would get a set of vitals. I would maybe call the doctor. I would see if we can get some lab orders stat for this patient. But one of the important parts, because sometimes it may take the doctor a little while to get there, I'll call the rapid response team. Because if you're throwing up dark red blood, something is going on in your intestinal system, in your intestinal tract. We got to jump on that right now, because who knows what is going on. It's dark, which means it's been sitting there for a minute. So it's been stewing and brewing. So you don't even know what it is, what was really there. But before you do anything outside of calling a doctor, getting vitals, I want to make sure you know to call rapid response or stat team. So one facility I was at called it stat team. One facility I'm at called it rapid response. Same thing. It's just a group of organized individuals with accelerated learning and skills that can come to any type of emergency situation. And that's all they do for the 12 hours that they're there. They're on call in a sense, because if you have some type of emergent situation, you call them, and as a team, they'll come to the bedside immediately. So what the managers or the leaders will want to do is they want to see how well you can manage your time. They want to see if you would be a good candidate for their establishment, for their unit or their department or their culture. So they're looking to see, based on what your response is, how you would be in the future when you are on their team caring for their patients. Okay. Another example could be if you have your med-surg unit and the manager or the interviewer may say, well, you've just received report for your 5 patients. Walk me through how you would begin your day. Very simple, very basic information you would probably tell them, but that they're trying to see, can you prioritize? Can you manage your time? Do you understand what is expected of you throughout your shift, for your shift as a nurse on that unit? Another way managers and leaders can retain new members on their team is looking at onboarding and orientation. Now, this can be very controversial depending on where you're from, because some facilities only give staff members days up to a couple weeks of orientation versus weeks to months in some other organizations. So it all depends on where you are, where you're working. I always say ensure that all new hires, whether they are experienced or not, new grads or not, have a thorough orientation. And what I mean by that is not just simply giving an experienced nurse 4 or 5 days on the unit and then just throwing him or her out to the wolves and think that they can just get it. They didn't sign up for that. They didn't sign up to be a travel nurse. They didn't sign up to get a couple days of orientation and then boom, now they're working on the unit. No, they signed up to be a permanent or temporary permanent staff member for the unit, and they expect to be there for months, if not years, hopefully years. And so you want to be able to provide them with a thorough education, a thorough onboarding orientation. See, now that you're the nurse leader and the manager, please don't just stay in your office. Please make yourself visible on the units, make yourself known to the staff, and sometimes even if the patients are walking in the hall, go ahead and make yourself known to them and let them know who you are. Do your check-ins, do your weekly, if not weekly, bi-weekly or monthly check-ins with those new individuals, because when they're in orientation, 8 times out of 10, they will probably have some type of nurse educator that will check in with them on a weekly, maybe bi-weekly basis. However, don't just think that it has to stop there, the buck stops there. No, you are the leader or the nurse manager of that unit. So go ahead and introduce yourself to that staff member. Go ahead and put them on your calendar and get to know them so that when it's time for them to be done with orientation, they've already built a rapport with you as the manager and the leader, and they aren't so afraid to come to you or speak with you about a certain situation or tell you what's really going on if you ask what's going on in the unit. Sometimes because of the dynamic between staff and leadership or staff and management, because those are two different things, video coming soon on that one, it may be difficult for staff to articulate what it is that they're feeling internally and then how the not so great environment or the not so great process that is occurring on the unit is affecting their work, therefore affecting how they're feeling. So just try to make yourself known, try to be not in the mix too much, because of course you have to realize that there are boundaries, but please just don't stick to it being inside of your office and not making a concerted effort to get to know your staff and your new staff as well. So I kind of hit on this a little bit, but one thing you can do as that manager or that leader by getting to know that new staff member is by creating a personalized list of goals that then they could utilize to assist with their further development and growth. Key point to this is making it personalized. You don't want to just have this generic 2-page list of potential opportunities in your department or in your facility and make it so generalized that the person who you're talking with only cares about 2 of the 20 and make it so generalized that the person you're speaking with only cares about 2 of the 20 things that are on that list. So this is when it comes into play, when you need to actually listen to what that person's goals are in life, what they like, what they don't like. And then as a manager, go ahead and just create some opportunities. Write down maybe certification in. If someone says, oh my gosh, I love helping new moms breastfeed, write down the certified breastfeeding counselor certification. I think you have to be a nurse maybe 1 or 2 years for that, depending on maybe the facility or the city. I'm not quite sure, but write that down. Give them information on how they could be certified in CBC, or when the time comes, ICBLC. I think that's the acronym. See if they want to be a mentor. Maybe they want to be a preceptor. Maybe they want to work on communicating with others. And so that is a way for them to kind of get outside of their shell, get outside of their bubble, and communicate with other people. And to test their skills at leading. You can't really be an effective and efficient preceptor or mentor without having the tools necessary to complete those tasks in that skill set, because it is a skill set being a preceptor and or mentor. They may also want to be a charge nurse, a supervisor, maybe even manager one day. So pick the lock and see what's going on inside of each one of your direct reports, because you just never know how far that will go. Just you wanted to sit down and get to know them on a more deeper personal level. And along those lines, some organizations have unit council committees and things of that nature, shared governance, maybe one on the infection prevention committee. So if they are interested, get them in contact with the correct people so that they can then get involved on the unit. And the last piece of information I will give you to retain your new team members is reducing turnover. Let me tell y'all, it is so hard to keep staff members in a facility, especially a big hospital, because it's always something going on. There's always a ton of people coming in when there may be a ton of people leaving, and you're trying to fill that void. But before you can fill that void, people start leaving, and then you're just getting deeper and deeper in the hole. It happens. It is a normal occurrence. What we want to do is try to decrease the rates of that turnover, reduce that rate. One thing I would say is potentially minimizing or not mandating overtime. Sometimes people enjoy OT when it's time for back to school. Maybe they want to have a little extra cash to send their kids back to school, get them school clothes, books, those types of things. Maybe they want to save up for a vacation or a new car. There are certain reasons why staff want to pick up and have overtime. But when you mandate that kind of just takes away that free will of wanting to do it versus now I'm forced to do it. Maybe implement quiet rooms, zen spaces, maybe a little dark room with a little aromatherapy going, maybe some soft jazz music playing in the background, just somewhere that staff can go to just unwind, just even for 10 minutes. If they have a difficult patient, a patient who may have passed away, a patient who is now being admitted to the ICU for whatever reason, they want a place, I would say give them a place where they could kind of decompress a little bit, kind of talk about their feelings or not, and just have a safe, quiet space for them to do so. And the last bit I'm going to say is implementing data-driven staffing. What I mean by data-driven staffing is your staff have a crap ton of ideas and thoughts because they're on the front lines literally every single day for hours at a time. They may realize that, you know what, this process we've been doing for 5, 10, 15 years, it actually does not serve us. It does not serve us. It does not serve our patients. Therefore, it does not serve the hospital or the clinic or urgent care, wherever you are. If they come to you and say, you know what, I've seen that this doesn't quite work well, but I have a solution for this, take heed to that, because it's going to make the staff feel more appreciative. They're going to feel valued. They're going to feel like you understand and that you care for them, especially if they're seeing you walking the floor, and not just when something terrible is happening, or not just when JCAHO or any other accreditation unit is there. They're going to feel valued and understood. Don't take for granted the thoughts and the feelings and the ideas of what your staff have, because in the long run, that's who you need to run your unit and your department. Okay, so I need for you to go ahead and go to this video right here. This is my latest video talking about scholarship and commitment to nursing. It is very important. I'm not talking about money, although that's not a bad thing. I am talking about the person, what qualities you have as a scholar to get you to where you want to go. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate your support and your viewing these videos. Go ahead and go to ifrn.org. I have a scholarship foundation there that I am raising money for young Black women in the state of Georgia who want to start nursing school. I also have a couple PDFs on the website as well. If you are new to nursing or thinking about becoming a nurse, go ahead and check it out. See you next time in this video.